It was the night of the school sleepover at the old mansion on the edge of town. The mansion, with its dark stone walls and tall, narrow windows, looked like it belonged in a fairy tale or a ghost story. Everyone had heard rumors about the place, but no one knew the full history. They had all been told that it was simply an old, abandoned house, perfect for a spooky sleepover adventure. Katie and her friends, Maya, Lucas, and Emma, were excited. It was the kind of place where you could imagine the walls whispering secrets and where the creaking floors seemed to groan with every step you took. They couldn't wait to explore. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they found themselves inside the mansion's grand hallway. The air smelled of dust and old wood. The furniture was ancient. Wooden chairs with intricate carvings, dusty chandeliers hanging from the ceiling. The mansion felt empty, as if it had been waiting for them to arrive. The head teacher, Mrs. Daniels, greeted them at the entrance. She was a tall, strict woman with glasses perched at the end of her nose. "Remember, children," she said, "you're only allowed in certain rooms. Stay in groups, and most importantly, stay out of the old part of the house. That's where the strange things happened." The friends nodded, but Katie couldn't help but feel drawn to the old part of the mansion. There was something mysterious about it, something that pulled her in, but she didn't say anything. Instead, she smiled at her friends, and they made their way to their assigned rooms. Later that evening, after everyone had settled in and eaten dinner, the group of friends gathered in the large living room. They sat on the big leather couch, talking about everything from their favorite movies to strange things they'd heard about the mansion. Maya was the first to notice. "Hey, where's the room at the end of the hall? The one that no one is allowed to go into?" Lucas glanced toward the hallway. "Oh, you mean the locked one? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure no one's supposed to go there. They said it's locked from the inside." Katie's curiosity was piqued. She hadn't heard about any locked room. Locked from the inside? That's weird. Why would it be locked like that? "I don't know," Emma said, "but it's definitely creepy. Let's not mess with it tonight, all right?" But Katie couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. It was as if the house itself was hiding something. As the night wore on, the group of friends drifted off to their separate rooms, all except Katie, who couldn't stop thinking about that locked room. Around midnight, after everyone had fallen asleep, Katie's curiosity finally got the best of her. She quietly slipped out of bed, trying not to wake anyone, and made her way down the hallway. The mansion was silent, too silent. The only sound was the soft padding of her footsteps on the old wooden floors. Katie reached the end of the hall, where the locked room was. It stood there, its door closed, with a thick wooden beam across it, keeping it shut. She ran her fingers over the beam, feeling the coolness of the wood. What could be inside? Why was it locked so securely? Her heart raced with excitement, but as she stood there, she heard something. A soft noise coming from behind the door. It was faint at first, but it sounded like a whisper. Katie froze, her breath catching in her throat. The whisper grew louder, almost as if someone or something was trying to speak to her. "Help me." The voice was low, almost a growl. Katie's eyes widened. She couldn't believe what she had just heard. Was someone trapped inside the room? Was there really something or someone in there? Without thinking, she grabbed the beam and pulled it away. The door creaked open, revealing a dark, musty room. It was smaller than she expected, with a dusty old bed in the corner and a small wooden desk stacked with papers. The walls were lined with old portraits of people Katie didn't recognize. The air inside the room felt thick, almost suffocating. Katie stepped inside, her flashlight shining across the room. She scanned every corner, searching for any sign of life. But there was nothing. The room looked untouched. No sign of anyone ever being in there. Confused and a little scared, Katie turned around to leave. But just as she reached for the door, she heard the whisper again. "Why did you come?" Katie's heart pounded in her chest. She spun around, shining her flashlight toward the source of the voice. But the room was empty. Suddenly, Katie heard footsteps behind her. She turned around quickly, her eyes wide with shock. "Katie, what are you doing?" Maya whispered, standing in the doorway. "We were worried. You weren't in your room. Are you okay?" Katie swallowed hard, her hand trembling as she lowered the flashlight. I heard something, a voice. It said, 'Help me.'" Maya looked skeptical. "A voice? Are you sure you're not just hearing things?" "It's an old mansion, Katie. There's probably just the wind or something." But Katie wasn't convinced. She couldn't explain it, but she knew what she had heard. "I'm telling you, Maya, there's something in this room. Something is wrong with this house." Maya sighed, but she stepped inside, looking around the room. "Okay, but there's nothing here, Katie. It's just a room, a dusty old room." Katie's eyes wandered around the room once more, and then she saw it. A small, weathered book resting on the desk. It looked out of place, as if it didn't belong in the room. She walked over to it, feeling a strange pull toward it. The book was old, its pages yellow and fragile. Katie opened it slowly, flipping through the pages. It looked like a journal filled with notes and sketches. As she read, she realized that the journal belonged to someone who had lived in the mansion many years ago. The entries described strange occurrences. Whispers in the night, shadows moving on their own, and the feeling of being watched. The last entry was the most chilling. "They're coming. The house won't let me leave." Katie shivered, a cold chill running down her spine. This isn't just some old room. This place has a dark history. There's something wrong here. We need to find out more. Maya nodded, now understanding the urgency in Katie's voice. "Okay, let's figure this out together, but we should wake the others. We can't do this alone." They left the room and quickly woke up Lucas and Emma. The four friends gathered together in the hallway, their minds racing. They needed to uncover the secrets of the mansion, but they didn't know where to begin. The group decided to search for clues. They started looking through the mansion, checking old rooms and examining dusty portraits. Eventually, they found an old family portrait of the mansion's original owners, a wealthy family with a dark history. The journal Katie had found mentioned something about them, a family secret that had been buried for years. After hours of searching, the friends discovered the truth. The mansion's owners had once kept a prisoner locked in that very room. The prisoner had been a family member, accused of a terrible crime. The journal revealed that the family had tried to hide their secret by locking the room and pretending it didn't exist. Katie and her friends realized the whispers they had heard that night were not the wind. They were the voices of the past, trapped in the walls of the mansion. The mystery of the locked room had been solved, but the chilling feeling remained. As the friends left the mansion the next morning, they couldn't shake the feeling that the mansion still held many secrets waiting to be uncovered.